Hello there, Golf Fanatics. Adam Bazalgette here from Scratch Golf Academy. Today's subject, shoulder turn in the backswing. We'll look at two common faults and ways to overcome it. Adam Scott on the left there, Justin Thomas on the right. Let's look at Adam's backswing. Look at the top of his head relative to the tree shadow. It stays pretty darn still. That's obviously what we're looking for. Pivot around your axis, keeping your axis still. But the key to doing that, as we look at Justin Thomas, let's put a little line there, is that you have to pivot around the spine. And of course in golf, we're not standing straight up. So that means, and people often aren't used to this, that you have to pivot around on that axis, left shoulder being much lower than right shoulder in the case of the right-handed golfer. But again, it's actually just around the spine. And one of the features of that sometimes people don't quite have the right feel for is when you're bent forward, let's reestablish that line, your trail side, his right side, will elongate and stretch a bit as it goes up. The key is doing it the right amount. Okay, one of the two common faults that I see, upper body toppling and tilting towards the target. Many times that's caused by an inability to hinge the club, could be a grip issue or whatever, and the player, instead of using their hinge to help get the club up, is actually lifting their arms and toppling their body. But nonetheless, I get rid of the club, get your hands across your shoulders and pivot, but you'll have to have a feeling of more resistance in this trail side, and you'll feel tension and torque a little sooner. And obviously if your head's staying still, you're doing it properly, but there'll be less of that sort of movement. Now, just the opposite problem, probably more frequent than the first one, is that of moving the head over here and off the ball in this manner. And what's happening there is the amount of space between your chest and the ground is staying too similar. So as I turn, I'm staying too bent over. This sort of a golfer typically needs to turn the shoulders on a steeper angle. And I like a little drill where you put your arms out this way, pivot from the body, but you'll notice this trail arm going up in the air and around behind you. And again, you'll feel more of a sense of some lengthening and extending of that trail side. Obviously, the goal at the end of the day is to be able to make a nice free pivot, but have your head stay nice and still. And when you can do that, it's really going to help your golf. So get away from the golf ball, get the club out of your hands, work this a little bit. When you get the feel, try it with a golf ball. It will really help your game. Well, thanks. I hope that helps you with shoulder turn and how to do it there in the backswing. Pretty important. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below and I'll get to as many as I can.